But looking over at my wife, her eyes were red, her cheeks and nose swollen, her blouse stained with tears. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, My Wife Just Asked for an Open Marriage. And a big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, this story is all about a guy, this poor guy, who after 5 years of knowing his wife, married her for 3 years, dated her 2 years beforehand, out of nowhere, she's asking for an open marriage. And you're going to see that she's 33 and he is 29. Notice that they married for 3 years. They got married when she was 30. And what's going on here is this guy is completely blindsided here, really hurt. And she's putting on the whole show and the tears and the waterwork and the whole 9 yards. But basically, she wants to hook up with other dudes. And I might add, he describes her as a 12 in the looks department. Not a 10, a 12. And him a 5. And you're going to see, as I connected the dots, he was a nice guy that she chose. It was a sure thing to rope him in her late 20s to, of course, marry her before she turned 30. And now she's pulling the bait and switch, realizing he's so invested, and he thinks he's way more into the marriage and relationship than she is, so she can get her way. And you're going to see in this situation how this guy handles it, the emotional turmoil he's going through. And I'm commenting on this left and right to make it clear you can't be in a relationship like this. And as I say all the time, guys, if they're asking for open relationship, open marriage, either they're already cheating physically with someone or they're already planning it out. And you have to be careful. It's over. Right then and there, it's over. But this guy, as you can see, has no idea about this thing. Open marriages? What the hell's that? Polyamory? What the hell's that? He's really in the dark. So he definitely needs help here. And this guy is on the fence here, I believe, about the divorce or entertaining this. So we have to knock some sense into him here. He says, about 7 hours ago, my wife said to me the 5 words I believe has set us on the path for divorce. She said, I want an open marriage. I'm here to get some advice. Insight on poly/open marriage, what could my wife be really thinking, and future question to ask her as we will be having many more long discussions. I'm at a loss, I need help. I'm 29 years old, wife is 33, we've been married for 3 years, no children. Smack! What the hell are you thinking marrying an older chick? She has never expressed to me any desire or shown any interest in poly/open relationships in the 5 years we've been together. So, like I said in the beginning, 5 years together. She is 34. She's 33. He's 29. And notice how they've been married 3 years, right when she was 30 years old. What do I tell you? They'll find that nice guy in their late 20s that they're not all in love with, but just some nice guy to settle with because they want to make sure they got a ring on their finger, married, before they hit 30, or at least on their way to the altar. Right here, exactly that. And this guy's thinking, yeah, I got this great girl. This is wonderful. And then she gets a ring on her finger, gets him used to married life, and then drops the bomb on him with this open marriage nonsense. When she sat me down to have the talk hours ago, I know something was wrong, and I did my best to be open-minded and supportive. There was no preparing for what she was about to ask me. So I asked her what brought this on. And she says, it's a feeling she's had for a long time. Oh, really? Yeah, shouldn't you have mentioned that to me before I proposed and said I do? Bait and switch, gentlemen. She said there have been a few men in the past that she had, that she and him had shown real chemistry and connection, but she never pursued them because of me. That's what marriage is. You're not hooking up with other dudes. You're not pursuing relationships or relations with other dudes. Oh, so sorry to hold you back, sweetheart. Right here. It never ceases to amaze me. I noticed the pain in her voice as she forced herself to try to explain. What a bunch of crap. It was a total act. There's no pain in her voice. My head was in a tailspin the entire time that we talked. But looking over at my wife, her eyes red, her cheeks and nose swollen, her blouse stained with tears, all I wanted to do was squeeze her and hold her tight and tell her how much I loved her. Smack, smack, smack. She's telling you when she wants to go F other dudes, and all you want to do is hug her and there her? Really? Dude, you need some work. You need help. She's putting on this whole waterworks and crying and carrying on and sobbing into her freaking blouse on purpose to get you to feel bad so she can get her way. Come on here, man. But I didn't. I just let her sit there babbling on with all her stupid reasons. We both were trying to hold together as I saw in her genuine agony in her voice and trembling hands that made me feel even more miserable and helpless. Again, she did that on purpose. The Golden Globe goes to the awful wife of the year. Right here. For a brief moment, I did feel that her pain was greater than mine. Bullshit. So I did my best so I could console her, but neither of us were getting any comfort. Dude, she's telling you she wants to F other dudes. She's breaking her vows, and you want to console her? Really? That's why she's giving you the waterwork. She knows you. My wife is a beautiful, gorgeous woman inside and out. She may be physically beautiful, but she ain't beautiful on the inside because she wants to F other dudes, and she's playing you like a fool, man. God's sakes. Of course, I know men will be pursuing her. For some context, I'm way out of my wife's league. You mean she's way out of your league in the looks department. I'm a 5 at best, and she's a 12. I'm not a jealous person, and I couldn't be if I wanted to keep my wife, who is as hot as her. More than a dozen times since we've been together, I've seen men flirt with her at her work, bars, coffee shops, and concerts. I will see them from a distance, men flirting with her and when I'm not at her side. Newsflash, I'm sure she was egging it on. And by the way, notice he said here, she's a 12 and the looks she's a 12 and I'm a 5. In other words, what I tell you about her finding her nice guy that clearly would see her as the queen, put her on the pedestal, treat her like the queen, and knowing full well that he ain't going anywhere and thinks so highly of her, she could bring up this open marriage crap when the time is right and bank on him going along with it and feeling bad for her and buying the waterworks and all the I'm sorries and all that bullshit. Right here. And by the way, this is why you don't marry 9s and 10s. Okay? If you're going to marry them, it's 6s and 7s. And even nowadays, you got to watch out for those 6s and 7s. I've gotten used to all this. She's always had an infectious laugh that's near a siren's call. She had a way and ease that could smitten a stone heart. A touch from her fingertips was all that was needed to cast her spell. But opening our marriage is too much. It's a bridge too far. Well, thank God you're admitting that. Okay, you're beginning to redeem yourself a tad bit. She went on to explain how she also needs variety. She wants to do things sexually that she'd rather not do or can't do with me as her husband. Oh my God. You know this guy's getting the bare minimum, or at least most of the time getting the bare minimum. She's telling you she wants to do things with other guys that she won't do with you, her husband. Why aren't you saying goodbye, get the F out of here, we're done? Because he's so smitten with her, so in love with her, and she's not all with him. This is the problem when the guy's more into the relationship than the woman. So right then and there, that was the first time I ever felt so insecure and so little in regards to my wife's sexual prowess. For some context, my wife has had more S-word partners than me. Gee, what a surprise. Me, 2 partners, her, 21, which includes group SCX, which I have never done. You are aware of this going into this, and have you not seen American Pie 2 or known the joke that whatever number they give you, multiply times 3. And nowadays you could probably multiply times 12. And you married her. The only thing I believe out of this whole thing is you had 2, and she's probably one of the 2. She knew this. She knew this going into this. That's why I warn guys about thinking that hot girl is going after you, and you're thinking, I finally got my chance. The movies were right. No, they chose you on purpose. So they could have the cake and eat it too. Rope you in, you marry them, and then a couple years later they either cheat or ask for an open relationship. And you're too weak and scared to say no. That's how it works. It's sad, really. Again, I'm not an envious person. I told her I too would love to have SCX with more variety of women, but in reality that's not in the cards for me, even if I were with you or without you. Dude, she knows darn well that if you open the marriage, you're going to get nobody. Or maybe some blind chubby chick or something like that. That's about it. Meanwhile, her, line out the door, dude's ready to plow her. And by the way, she probably is already being plowed. Check her phone, check her computer, hire a PI. I guarantee you something's going on. My wife and I love to experiment in the SEX department and try each other's kinks, but it was always with each other. When I asked for examples of what she wanted to do from an open marriage, she couldn't give me any specifics other than a threesome with 2 men, more often because that's what she enjoyed. Oh my God, dude, you went into this marriage knowing this? You think that you're just garbage and therefore you have to put up with anything? Come on, brother. She is not marriage material. I told her I'm open to including another man for a threesome from time to time, but we can also include another woman, and she shifted to another discussion. Smack! You're going to sit there and let some other dude plow your wife? Are you a fucking cuck? Clearly. Come on, brother. Unless that turns you on in some way and that disgusts me. What the hell? My wife isn't against same-sex relationships, but in the years I've known her, she has been adverse to female affection, not even cheek to cheek with another woman. Next, she tells me she felt something was missing in her life and that she has this long void before she met me. An opening marriage will fulfill that. I asked her why she never told me this earlier. We shared everything about each other. We nurtured each other's aspirations, lifted each other up when one lacks confidence, protected and soothed one another's insecurities. I said if she had mentioned this while we were dating, we could have tried. She didn't mention this before because she wanted to rope you in and get you to marry her. And you, by the way, you said you've been together for 5 years, married 3, which means this guy met her, started dating, and married her in 2 years. She was banking on that. And her bringing up her wanting to explore things outside the relationship, she didn't want to jeopardize getting that ring on her finger and being married before she turned 30 or at 30 years old. This is all part of the plan. That's why she didn't bring it up, amigo. In case you're curious how an awkward geek like me married a beautiful lady, she was being bothered by a man in the parking lot that turned physical. The guy was taller and bigger, so I sucker punched him and kicked him in the balls. I was acquitted of all charges, but the other guy served jail time. This led to a friendship, but a relationship didn't happen until I won a very popular contest of sorts. I won't say what the contest is, just involves politics. So if what he's saying is true, this guy shows he can actually grow a pair. He saw some guy supposedly getting physical with her, probably was like her lover, punched him, kicked him in the balls, took and saved her. Okay, we'll just believe this. So that's good. And recently, it sounds like he was elected to a local office, in a local political office. Well, that's also good. A guy who obviously is trying to make something of himself. Cool. But his political career ain't going to go anywhere if everybody knows that his wife's hooking up with other dudes. Does he want to be Will Smith here? As the old saying goes, women love winners. I made clear to her I'm not comfortable changing our monogamous marriage to something else, as that's not what I signed up for. Good. You shouldn't do that, dude. Stand up for yourself, for goodness sake. I told her she's the love of my life and the future mother of my kids, and I'll do anything to help make her happy. Smack! Okay, Mr. Happy Wife, Happy Life. Your life ain't that happy, is it? In hindsight, I don't think I should have said that, but I really do love her and want her to be happy. You're never going to make her happy, dude. Ever. I'm just not sure the path she wants to go down, and I can go with her. Well, we all know where she wants to go down, and it ain't with you. I also asked, other than SCX, what kind of relationship did she want from this arrangement? Again, she wasn't specific, but she alluded to the full, long-term kind and multiple of them. So she doesn't just want one other dude to play around with. She wants multiple dudes and sausages coming at her, and you. Bro, you've been married 3 years. Divorce her. Take the hit, whatever that may be, and move on. The next few hours or so, she kept asking me, what would it take for me to feel comfortable? What boundaries did I want to set? Like she's going to actually agree to and go along with whatever boundaries you set. Come on. Most of my answers were, I don't know, and me not being very specific. It was a bit hard to concentrate. The few I did suggest was that our marriage was primary above all of her other relationships, and was, if we were to do this, then everyone must practice safe SCX. My wife is currently on the pill. I'm not wearing a condom when we have SCX. I made clear while we are married, she is to never get pregnant by another man or have another man's child. Bro, why are you even entertaining this? You should be saying, at the very least, you do this, we're done. Or better yet, we are done. Because if she's bringing this up, she's hooking up with somebody else or multiple someones, or she has people planned. Either way, she doesn't love you, because no woman that loves her guy is ever going to do this to him and hurt him this way, or want him with other women. Duh. Which brought up a discussion of us having kids and when we were going to start a family. The answer she gave me was the kill shot of the night. She wanted us to try the open marriage first before we could start a family. Up until that point, I held my composure as best I could, but that all shattered to pieces. Everything inside me drained like a broken pitcher of water. That was the first time a wife saw me in that state. If I had a wish that could erase one moment in our life, that would be it. Well, yeah, you don't want to let her see you cry. If I had a wish that could erase... I read that part. If I was ever in my power, I would never allow my wife to see me behave like that, ever. But at this point, we were both in tears and in bad shape. She's back to the waterworks, putting on the show. She's a piece of crap. I feel sorry for this guy, because I actually do, because this guy clearly has no idea about these types of things. He's never had anybody coach him in anything, and really thought he had a good thing going, and is so worn down, so desperate, thinks so low of himself that he has to put up with this shit, you know? It's like, come on, brother. But at this point, I can feel sorry for him initially. But if he entertains this idea of hers, where he posted this online, everybody's telling him he's nuts, including me, then I won't feel bad for him in the future. She kept telling me how much she loves me, and that will never change. She doesn't love you at all. We're just going to have to wait a little bit to start a family, that's all. She tried to wrap her arms around me to console me, but the moment she tried to tighten her hug around me, I just got up and walked away. I couldn't take it anymore. I was defeated. Too many thoughts rushing through my head. I wandered around the house, waiting for a while for my wife to go to sleep. I stayed in the bathroom for a long time, trying to avoid my wife. The things she said were stuck on replay in my brain. When I knew she was in bed, I left the house and went to my parents' home, where I started looking up everything about poly and open marriage. See, he has no idea about this shit. I still struggled even as I write this. As I started writing this done, it eventually turned into a post. The sun is about to rise, and I called in sick from work. Now I'm going to try to get some sleep. Sorry this was long, but I had to get off my chest. I will keep you updated. Any help would be appreciated. Good God, I don't know where to start. Well, okay, so, dude, you're sharing this story online on Reddit for the world to see and asking for people's feedback, so I'm going to give it to you. I'm sorry this is happening to you, and you're obviously need a lot of work in reality, but you don't deserve this. But the reality is, your marriage is over. She is a terrible woman. She's not beautiful outside and inside. She's maybe physically beautiful, but inside, no. She bait and switched you. She roped you in on purpose. You met when she was like 28 or something like that, right? Got married when she was 30. Women are terrified of the age 30 because they want to make sure that they're married or on the way to the altar by 30, because all their other friends are getting married, or women in their family, cousins, sisters, and all. Found her nice guy, as they usually do in their mid to late 20s, because they realize the bad boys that they really are attracted to and drawn to are not going to give them that life they want. They're not marry them. So they find their nice guy. And if what you say is true, that's how you met. You start off as friends, and she recognized this guy's marriage material. Not because I love him, not because there's something amazing about him, but because it will be easy for me. Because this guy will see me as a prize. I'm way more physically appealing than he is, and he'll treat me like the queen, put me on the pedestal, and I'll get whatever I want. And if I get bored, hey, I'm married to him, and guess what? I can then cheat, and he'll probably, if he catches me, take me back, or I can request an open relationship, and he'll go along with it out of fear of losing me. That's pretty much how this works. Bro, it's over. I'm sorry, but it is over. You cannot stay with her, because if you do, she is going to make a fool of you, particularly if you are, I'm guessing, probably have a full-time job and do something political-wise on the side. You know, everybody's going to know about you. You'll look like a fool. You'll never move up in office anymore. You'll be the laughing stock of her friends and anybody else. Have some self-respect. You think of yourself as a 5? Okay. I'm sure there are things you can do to improve, those numbers on the physical scale. Joining a gym, losing some weight, put on some muscles, changing your wardrobe a little bit, working on your confidence. You fought off an attacker. You want a local office, obviously, so that's things to give you confidence about. But you can't be with someone like this. You need to gain the self-worth and self-respect. Otherwise, people are going to walk all over you in life. That's how it is. She's trying to walk all over you. The waterworks, the crying, the agony in her voice, it's all bullshit. It's an act. Women are great actresses. And generally, the more beautiful they are, the better they are at acting and all the bullshit. Okay, period. And she was banking on the fact that you would go along with this, and the odds are she doesn't have to worry about any women because, as you say you're a 5, or have the self-confidence of a 5. And I guarantee you, if you were to check her phone or her laptop, or follow her, or have someone follow her, you're going to find evidence real quick there's other dude she's hooking up with, or at least preparing to hook up with. That's how this thing works. But if you stay with her, she's going to make you look like a fool and break your heart even more. I'm sorry it's happened to you. You don't deserve this. But you went into this with a monogamous marriage, just the two of you. She did not. Or she was planning on this shit later on once she locked you in. So, bro, if you stay with her, at this point then, I can't feel sorry for you anymore. You're going to deserve what you get. I get it's harsh. Your heart's broken. You feel like the biggest loser. Okay, this has been happening to a lot of guys. The way you can redeem yourself is go talk to a lawyer. Find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly, and it ain't going to be pretty. Divorce is miserable, but at least you've been married for 3 years, so hopefully you won't get hit that badly. You know, you split up. Obviously, if you live together, have a house together, that's going to be a pain in the ass, but you can do it. And take it one day at a time. Spend time with people that care about you, friends, family, get good advice. And anybody that tells you that you're foolish to break up with her, like her friends or your family, don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. You're unhappy. That's it. That's all the opinion that matters here. And I guarantee you, you try to end the marriage, she's going to give you the waterworks and beg you and plead and say, I'm sorry, I don't need the open relationship. Not because she loves you, because she doesn't want to lose the perfect situation with a husband, a guy that obviously has earning potential, all those types of things. You can't do that. Do not buy her bullshit. I'm sorry it happened, but I'm being honest. You asked for advice right here. It says any help we appreciate. That's what I think. And I guarantee you, most people think the same thing. So that's what I think, gentlemen. And like I said in this whole thing, like I said in the beginning, the lesson is this. They find that nice guy, they rope them in, and then they try this type of crap once the guy is invested and settled in. Don't fall for that. And also, guys, remember for you guys that, you know, like I said, if you're honest with yourself, when you were a teenager, high school, then college in your 20s, women weren't beating down the door to get with you. But all of a sudden, when you get in your late 20s and you're starting to get some resources, starting to establish yourself in your career, and magically girls are paying more attention to you, be aware it's because they want a ring on their finger. Maybe things have changed about you. Maybe you've gotten yourself in great shape. Maybe you've developed confidence and stuff like that. So it's beyond just resources, but you have to be careful. Women want that ring. And the idea nowadays is like, hey, he'll be my starter husband. If it doesn't work, hey, you know, I can go find somebody else because the court system's on my side. Or I can ask for an open marriage. Unfortunately, that's how it is so often nowadays. So be careful, guys. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comment section. He definitely needs some harsh words, but let's remember he's suffering. And even though I honestly do feel bad for him initially, we hope he makes the right decision. Because if he doesn't, then I won't feel bad for him if he stays with her and puts up with his bullshit. Give him some hope. Give him some advice. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.